What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Power Book 4 Force Season 1, Episode 2, you guys. And, excuse me, I burped in the middle of the video. The episode was titled King of the Goddamn Hill, you guys. Now, before we jump into this Power Book 4 review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video, please do me a favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it, you guys. Do me that solid favor by liking the video, turning on your post notifications, subscribe to my channel, and also sharing said video. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and discuss Power Book 4 Force with Tommy, shall we? All right, guys, so this episode, it opens up and we see Tommy. So Tommy is, at the waterfront, right? So it looks like he's at the lake or wherever, and he's looking at his phone and he's looking at pictures of Lakeisha. R.I.P. to Lakeisha. I mean, the fact that Keisha got taken out by her, her best friend Tasha. What about Cash? Boom. I would never forget that. And then he's looking at a picture of him, Lakeisha, and Cash, right? Now, on the flip side, we see these guys, right? They drive up in this car, they point the guns out, and they just start spraying. So we later find out that they were shooting up JP's spot, right? And JP doesn't have any protection. He doesn't have the money to pay for things like this, right? Because his father has, some health issues, and the medical bills have racked up, right? And JP can't get in contact with his ex-husband as they're going through a divorce, right? So he said, ex-husband, he said, yeah, you got a problem with that? He says, no, an ex is an ex, right? So then Tommy takes out a wad of cash, throws it to JP, and JP's like, that ain't even gonna make a dent. Which it probably won't. The cost of repairs plus the father's medical bills, yeah, $10,000 ain't gonna go very far, right? So then we later see Tommy. So Tommy is walking down this alley and he gets knocked over the head by this woman by the name of Liana. Now, you guys, I don't remember who Liana is to save my life, and I've watched every season of Power. But I did see a comment, and you guys can correct me in the comment section. Is Liana the young lady that when we remember in the original Power, there was a woman, at one point we never saw her face because all we saw were her heels. Is that Liana? Because she has a scar on her face, and I do remember the scar. I do vaguely remember, but Liana, I don't remember that much, right? So him and Liana got into a knockdown, drag out fight, right? At one point, Liana was getting the best of Tommy. Then the cops came up, right? And, he was like, you survive another day, but I'm going to find you. Oh, I'm going to find you. So then we see Tommy. So Tommy went to meet up with Diamond and Jannard, right? And Tommy has given Jannard, and not even Jannard, he's given Diamond. He's given Diamond back the drugs and the money that, remember in last week's episode when Jannard and Vic met up with those two tweakers. Well, the drugs that they got were stepped on. Baby aspirin and some other stuff. I'm like, damn, so y'all just don't test your product before you get it? I ain't even a drug dealer, and I know, test the product to make sure it's good. Like, you just don't take and that's what threw me with Jannard and with Vic. You two want to be these big bosses, but from what I'm looking at, you guys are making very, very rookie moves. In my personal opinion, you guys are making rookie moves. So Jannard was like, so you didn't even keep some money for yourself? You don't know Tommy. Tommy, he's although he's a drug dealer, Tommy has a code that he sticks by, right? So it's three little niggas outside of the Diamond's barber shop, right? So at one point, the one little nigga that's in the shop, he want to have some words with Tommy. So then Tommy yoked that little nigga up, right? Then the other two niggas from outside came in, and they got their guns drawn on Tommy, and Diamond is telling them, put your guns down. And they were like, I ain't putting shit down, nigga, until I get the sign. He was like, what the fuck you looking at him for? So then he was talking about Jannard, because the little nigga was looking at Jannard, and Jannard was like, something like that, right? I was like, oh, so these little niggas taking orders from Jannard. it's gonna be interesting to see. So there are a lot of dynamics in this series that I'm ready to see how they play out, right? I'm interested to see how the dynamics between Walter, Claudia, and Victor play out, right? And I'm also interested to see how the dynamic between Jannard and Diamond play out, right? Because I get it. With Jannard, Diamond was in jail for 15 years, so Jannard has been running the streets, taking care of business, right? So now that his brother's out, he doesn't necessarily want to take a back seat to his brother. He wants to be maybe his second, not even second command. He wants to be his equal, right? And I get it. You've been in jail for 15 years, nigga. Shit has changed, right? So then we see Tommy and Diamond at one point. So they went for a walk, right? And they then got kidnapped by Rojas's men, right? Rojas's men were stupid as the fuck. So they kidnapped Tommy and Diamond. They took them to this warehouse, right? They took the covering off their face. So now Tommy and Diamond know what you two motherfuckers look like, right? So they hand Diamond a bag of heroin, right? And they tell him they want the money. The streets are hot right now, right? So they're not gonna sell it. They want him to sell it and give them the money back. And he has 3 hours to do that. I was like, oh, okay. So next up, we see Diamond and Tommy. So Diamond and Tommy, they're in a car. And Tommy, because at one point, one of Rojas's managers is talking about this is, basically payback for putting him in his wheelchair, right? So Tommy asks him, why did you even put him in a wheelchair? So what happened is, while Jannard was out and Diamond was in prison, right? Rojas tried to get at Jannard to take some CBI business, so he had to show him what was up, right? So then, Diamond's like, so what's going on with you? Why are you still around here, right? He says, I'm just want to stack up some paper, right? And he says that, you got me out of a jam, so I'm returning the favor. So then we see the guy that kidnapped Tommy and Diamond, right? He is, he's got eyes on Jannard. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna kidnap Jannard to, give Diamond an extra incentive to sell quicker and faster, right? So they call Diamond and on FaceTime from Jannard's phone, and Jannard is, tied up and beat up, right? And now they've amped up that time clock. Now they have 1 whole hour to get them the money, right? So we see Tommy and Diamond as they're doing the drops, right? So, they stop at this, at one point they stopped at a car shop, right? And they dealt with some Hispanic people. And it's the funniest thing. Thomas talking about, I don't speak Spanish. But then he said he was speaking un pequeño. It was very small, right? If you don't know what pequeño, un pequeño, muy es pequeño. I guess I should have said that. Muy es pequeño. Very small, right? Very small, very little. Like my Spanish, very small. I know certain things in Spanish. I actually want to practice up on my Spanish because I used to speak when I was in middle school. I could speak Spanish clearly. I could speak it. I knew it, and I don't use. I think the thing is for me with Spanish, I stopped using Spanish, and I just never. I didn't find the need for it after because I even took Spanish in high school. And I just I don't see the need for it. Like I knew Spanish. The crazy part is I knew Spanish. Like I knew the days of the week. I don't even know the days of the week anymore. I know miércoles, sábado, domingo, lunes, martes. That's it. Sábado, domingo, lunes, martes. And there's 7 days in a week and only got 4. And those are not even in order. Oh my God. So yeah, we're back. So we saw Tommy, he went up to this one place, very, very sketchy, right? And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't sell nothing here, right? And then when you looked at the guy he was selling the drugs, I'm like, that dude look like he's already high. And the dude, like I said, test the product. This dude did a lot more than test the product. This dude cut it open and sniffed it and passed it. I was like, oh my God. And Tom's like, hey, my man, the money. So he started feeling his pockets. And he got the money. He got the fuck out of there, right? Meanwhile, outside with Jannard, and I like how they did this scene with Jannard. Why do I keep wanting to say Jannard for Diamond? For Diamond. So outside, Diamond is driving around in Tommy's car, right? So this white cop comes up to Diamond, right? Diamond isn't doing anything. Diamond isn't bothering anyone. So he walks up to Tommy's car. Like I said, Diamond's in the driver's seat, right? So he asked him for his license and registration. And Diamond's whole thing is, I didn't do anything, officer. And what the officer told him, he didn't do anything. All Diamond was only thing that Diamond really did was a DWB, driving while black, right? So he says that Diamond was texting and driving. Diamond's like, the car is parked, so I'm not driving. Then he says, well, you're driving a car that has out-of-state plates. Tommy's plates are actually, I will say one thing about Tommy's plates. Now, I don't know when they filmed this season of Power Book 4, but Tommy's plate said 2020. Tommy's plates expired 12 of 2020. Oh, okay. I guess it makes sense. Because these are literally the events that have happened. This is still the same. This is just a few days after Ghost has gotten, ixnayed, right? Okay, so it makes sense why his plate say 2020. It makes sense, right? I guess. But yeah, I noticed that Tommy's plate said 12 of 2020. All right, guys. So Tommy came outside right after he did the drop with the tweet that motherfucker, right? So when Tommy came out, this cop was like, "Oh, hi, buddy. This is your car? Okay, can I see your license and registration? Thank you." I was like, "You motherfucker." It just highlights what's going on in this world. It's so funny, you guys. Let me tell you guys a quick story time. So I was out Sunday, right? And I went to go I was getting something to eat, right? And it's this place called La Madeleine, right? So I was actually picking up some food for someone else. And I went into the restaurant to get the food, right? And I had my black shirt on that has the shoe and it's saying I can't breathe. And I actually really felt bad for that man because he when he finally read the shirt, he was so apologetic. He's like, I get it. It was a white man, right? He looked at my shirt. All he saw was the footprint. He's like, you got a footprint on your shirt. And then he finally read, I can't breathe. And he didn't turn red. He just was, I think with me being black and me having that shirt on, he felt a little mortified. And I told him, no, man, it's all, because I knew he just saw the shoe. I was getting ready to tell him, I'm like, you might want to read it because it says something else. But he read it and he was like, I understand it, I get it. And I didn't get anything. I didn't get any bad vibes from him. I really genuinely felt that he knows. I mean, he doesn't know what it's like to be me, but I think he can. I know we have our allies in the white people who are with us, right? They might not know what it's like to be a black person. Like especially me being a black man and getting pulled over by the cops. I have Diamond's same disposition, and Diamond just got out of jail, and Diamond had his hands on the wheel. The man said license and registration. He says, I'm not moving my hands from this wheel. He said, get out. I'm not getting out of this car. I'm like, thank you. Because we see this happen so many times where the cops say license or registration, and then that cop actually, his trigger happy ass, he pulled his gun on Diamond. I'm like, dude, what are you pulling your guns for? Like, what you pulling your gun for? One, you said he was driving and texting. Okay, if that were the case, why do you need a gun if someone's driving and texting? Then you want to question him about these license plates, right? If you're questioning him about the license plates or texting and driving, why we need our gun? What's the gun drawn for? And then when Tommy comes out, a white man, you're, you're jovial. Like, oh, we can go here or we can go there. And Tom's like, I'm going over with you, cocksucker. But he told Diamond, be cool, we got this. I also did forget to mention at one point in the episode, Diamond, this is one of the first time that Diamond kind of choked up with a cop, because at one point, because the streets are hot because they've had a lot of murders out there in Chicago, right? So at one point, Diamond, it was when they were doing the first drop, right? Getting ready to do the first drop. There was some cops behind Tommy's car, and like I said, Diamond is driving, and they turned the lights on, and Diamond, he froze up, and Tommy's like, "We cool, we good. We ain't got nothing to worry about. We're good." And luckily enough, the cops went around them. So, after, all this that Tommy and Diamond have done, we later see Tommy, and Tommy went to meet up with his brother JP, right? And he gave him some money. So then JP showed Tommy this videotape that he found of Tommy and Kate, or his grandmother. I believe it was his grandmother, right? And we find out a little bit more about JP, right? So JP has a son that he hasn't saw. And the reason that he hasn't saw his son is because when he came out to his son's mother, she took him away from him. That is fucked up. You take your son away from his father because he came out as gay? So next we see Tommy. So Tommy texts Gloria, right? And, he wants to see her. And she's like, come through. He wanted to go to the bar. She said, come through. So then we see Tommy. He's on top of this car. And the two fools that kidnapped him, Tommy done kidnapped their asses, got them locked in the trunk, and set their car fire. And boom, blew him up. And then we see him later. He went back to buy Diamond's shop with the, I think it was Gucci. And he had it in his hand. Let him see it, like, hey, you owe me. And at one point, Diamond was like, so you casing at my city? He was like, just trying to get a lay of the land. It is what it is. Now, we're going to wrap up with Tommy, you guys. So we see Tommy. So Tommy is over at Gloria's bar, right? And, we see Vic. Vic is outside watching. Vic is fuming. So Vic is gonna give me the vibe of Tariq and Kane. It's just gonna give me that vibe, right? So we find out that Gloria at one point she wanted to open up a Jamaican spot, right? We know she's in debt to Walter and his family, right? I forgot what his family's name is. Well, I forgot what their family's name is. Let's see if I can find it. That's it, the Flynn family. So she's in debt to the Flynn family. Tommy says, do you need help? She says, nope, I got this. Yep, she got this. So, where are we at? Yeah, this is gonna be an issue with Tommy and oh boy. So then we see Tommy later in the episode. He pulled back up once again on Liana, and once again they get into this little drag out fight, and he was about to stomp her. But then she moved, and he stomped a hole in the floor, and he found some drugs with a spider emblem on it. I don't know what that spider emblem was. If you guys know, I know it comes from the original Power book. I just don't remember I don't remember who it was. Because in the original Power, we had Lobos, the Jimenez. So if you guys know, let a brother know. If you guys know, let a brother know. All right, guys, so let's move on. Guys, so let's move over to Walter. So Walter, he has some health issues, you guys, right? So his doctor is calling him, and his doctor is wanting to, get some more labs and actually go over his results with him, right? But so Victor comes in, and Victor thinks that they should tell Claudia, but Walter, however, doesn't want to tell Claudia or anyone what he's going through, right? So then, Walter is telling Victor that when he dies, he's gonna take over. He needs to run things the way that he runs it now, right? If not, there's gonna be trouble. I'm like, what are you gonna do from the grave? You're gonna come back and, ooh, I'm Walter's ghost. Victor, you're not doing shit the way that I want it done. I was like, so is that what you're gonna do? Like, what are we talking about here, Victor? What are we talking about? So, we see Victor. He went, this is earlier in the episode. This is before the timing situation. So Victor went over to Gloria's bar, right? And, she's, actually, no, he was in her apartment. And she was like, key? I'm like, wait a minute, he still has a key to your apartment? And y'all, oh, girl, he got a key to your place. What if he had walked in last week when you and Tommy was knocking the boots? Like, what would happen then? It would have been another knockdown, drag out fight. And I don't think Victor is any match for Tommy. Actually, I don't. It's not that I don't think he is. I know Victor is no match for Tommy, right? So where are we at? So Gloria is telling Victor that she can't do this anymore, right? And he asks her, "Is it someone else?" She says, "Victor, no." So she does love Victor, right? But the reason that she and Victor are not together is because of his family. Because to keep the bloodline going, Victor has to be with a white woman, an Irish white woman, right, to produce an heir, right? I'm like, oh my. So she doesn't really fit into that equation, unfortunately. So then we later see Victor and Claudia, right? And Claudia is talking to Victor about their business, right? And she also knows about him and Gloria. She tells him if that's the happiness that you want, go for it, right? And what did he say? He thinks she thinks she thinks that that's it for him, right? So then she tells Victor that she wants to expand their business, and he says, Dad is not going to go for it, right? She says, well, maybe you can talk to him. He says, no, I'm not going to do that. She says, okay, well, how about I talk to him? He shuts her down on that one, right? And she's telling him that business is failing, right? Our product that we have, it's outdated. We need to, kind of liven things up, freshen things up. But Victor doesn't want to go along with this. And this is the dynamic that I'm ready to see. Claudia and Walter, right? Because we can clearly see that Claudia is the brains, right? They just use her for the bookkeeping. But Claudia is the one that has the brains in the family. Walter is brains as well, but Victor is just all muscle, right? Victor is a meathead. Victor is a hothead. Like, that's what Victor gives me. He doesn't give me sensible. He doesn't give me that he thinks things through. He gives me very much Kane from Power Book 2, irrational, and he does things by the seat of his he flies by the seat of his pants, right? That's what Victor gives me, you guys. But let me know what you guys think about Victor going forward. And we see Claudia. So Claudia, at one point in the episode, she was doing the books, and that's when she was telling Walter about the new drugs. And she said that basically we're losing money. So then Walter tells her, Victor runs the streets and you handle the books, right? Very much so sexist. And I have a little bit of issue with the fact that it's sexist. It's like, because you remember in last week's episode, he took her hands and said, what are you supposed to do with these? Like, there are a lot of things that Claudia can do with her hands. I mean, Claudia could be she probably could be the strongest person in your organization, but you are reducing her to filing papers. And as we can see, Claudia is one of the smartest people in his organization, right? So it's interesting. I'm wondering what Claudia is going to do, right? I'm wondering if Claudia is going to at some point maybe try to branch out on her own and sell the drugs on her own, so that way she can have her own money, so that way she can break free of her father. And then once these are theories that I'm having, like maybe once she stacks up, has a successful business, she might be like, hey Walter, hey Victor, like, hey, I got this going on over here. If you want in on it, come. That's what I'm wondering. Will at some point she go against her father, right? That's the biggest question that I have is, will she go against her father? I feel like two people in this series may go rogue against her. And it's interesting. This is all family, right? And I'm gonna talk about family in just a minute, you guys. So then the last thing that I want to talk about is Gennard, right? So earlier in the episode, earlier in the review, I told you guys about those guys that were outside of Diamond's barbershop. Well, Jannard wanted Diamond to meet them, and Diamond was like, "Fuck nah, we good. They not good for business." And going off of how they interacted with Tommy, they're absolutely not good for business. They are young, little young ass niggas. They look like they made the youngest looks like he might be 16, 17 years old. So what Diamond was saying to Jannard was true. Like these little dudes, they look like they're not reliable. They look like they are trigger happy, like they just gonna shoot first and ask questions later, and that's not good for business, and we don't need that. And that's why I say I think that there's gonna be an issue with Jannard and Diamond because, like I said, Diamond has been in prison for 15 years at this point, right? And I just see a rift coming between them. And that brings me back to what I was talking about a few minutes ago. Family. Like I think there's gonna be a lot of rifts in families in this series, in this season. I don't know if it'll necessarily take place this season, but I do feel like there's gonna be a lot of rifts, so to speak. I think that there's going to be a rift. I know that there's going to be a rift between, Diamond and Jannard, right? And like I just said a few minutes ago, the biggest issue with Diamond and Jannard is the fact that Jannard has been running this business for the last 15 years while he's held him down while he was in prison. So at this point, Jannard doesn't want to be second in command. Jannard wants to be, he doesn't want to be second in command. He doesn't want to be his right-hand man. I think Jannard wants to be he wants to be a partner, right? And he wants to be able to he wants to be able to call the shots. He wants to be able to, to give input on what they do. And I don't see how that's going to work going forward with Diamond being the one that's in charge. I see, so kind of like what happened with Tommy and Ghost in the original Power. You guys remember? And actually, if you look at Diamond and you look at Jannard, they kind of mimic Ghost and Tommy. Ghost was the one who, had plans in action, right? He thought he tried to say two steps ahead. He won 2 steps ahead of his son. But Ghost was the one that's, he executed the business. He was the brains of the operation, right? Same with Diamond, right? And Tommy was, the muscle of the brawn. And that's what Jannard gives, right? So I feel like at some point, Jannard and them little corner boys that he got, they might split. They might say, you know what, fuck it, we ain't dealing with Diamond. And I also feel that, because I feel like Tommy's gonna be a free agent this season, right? I feel like Tommy's gonna be up in the air. So I feel like Tommy might go between the Flynn family and between Diamond, right? And with that, like I said, the second in command to Diamond is Jannard. Second in command to Walter is Victor. And I feel like there's going to be a rift between Tommy and Diamond. Not Diamond. Why do I keep wanting to say Diamond? Tommy and Jannard, and Tommy and Victor, right? I feel like there's going to be some issues between those three. Then, like I said earlier, I feel like Claudia is going to, at some point, go against her father and start just selling drugs, right? Now, I don't necessarily, that was just me just talking out loud, right? About her, bringing in Victor. But if she does, decide to go rogue, she will need someone on her side that she can trust. And who else can she trust besides her brother? I don't even know if she can really trust her brother, right? Because he does everything that their father says, right? So I don't necessarily know that Claudia would be able to trust him, but hey, we'll see, right? And then also, Tommy. Like I said earlier, Tommy was, casing, when he was talking to Diamond after they took care of the drive. Diamond gave Tommy $25,000, and that's when Diamond was asking Tommy, was he casing the city because he noticed him, right? I feel like what Tommy's gonna do, since he knows that his brother has that that business, Tommy's gonna need a front, right? And that could be his front, right? Because I don't think it'll be Gloria in her bar, but it could be, right? It could be Gloria in her bar, but I really don't think I think it's gonna be his brother and his bar that he might use as his front to wash his money. I feel like that might be what it is. And then one last thing that I want to talk about in this episode before we get off of here. So Tommy, now the beginning of the episode, he drove by this place that had a lease sign on it, right? Then at the end of the episode, he went back to that same place, knocked on the door. This older man came to the door. Tommy paid him to leave. The man was like, "Let me get my toothbrush." He lifted his shirt, showing him a gun. No. He says, you don't know anything about this. He's like, my memory. I got a pretty good memory. Fuck, man. So Tommy paid him some more money, right? So old dude is gone, right? And you guys, that's the end of episode 2 of Power Book 4 Force, you guys. So the season is starting very slow, but I'm enjoying it, you guys. I'm enjoying getting to know these characters so far. And I'm really, like I said, I'm interested to see where the dynamics go in the season with the likes of what's going to happen between Diamond and Jannard, and what's going to happen with the Flynn family, Walter, Victor, and Claudia, and more specifically, Claudia. I'm interested to see what that dynamic is going to be like. And let me know what you guys think about the episode in the comments section below. Please subscribe to the channel. Please turn on your notifications, you guys. Share the video. And until the next one, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, you guys. Socially distance, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.